It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Pew, 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 pew!
What the fuck is going on?
Well, hello there everyone, and good morning. Good morning, Lawrence Daxmalik. True potential. Nobody ever expects Spanish Inquisition. Except, if you expect to expect unexpected, then it doesn't really count. What's up, Mermaid Man? How are you doing? What's up, Ola? Welcome to the stream. Hope all of you are doing well. Now, still loads of grinding to do. Loads of grinding to do. So that is exactly what we are going to attempt here. Grind our heart out with all my 5 stars. Need to do this full 5-star round still. Well, it's not full. I did make a quick start, but you know, most of it, vast majority of my 5 stars. So this stream might be a bit longer than hour and a half or 2 hours. You sit down and get ready, because today is the bin day. Haha. I love Wednesdays. I love Wednesdays. You can get rid of all your rubbish. What's up, T-Stars? And Emeroids. And everyone else. Emma herself. The big bad Emma. The big bad Emma. How many bots today? How many bots today, Emma? Maybe all of them. Right. So how's everyone else doing? You guys had a good start of the week so far? A couple of videos to make today at some point, so I'm actually gonna have a very busy day. And that's quite worrisome, but you know. But Emma is going to blow our house down. I know. Always worry about that. I had time for one now. I bet you do. Or maybe you do. Maybe you do. You can just tell your work that something urgently came up. You're gonna be back in an hour. And just go in for a little splishy splash. You can always find a way. You can always find a reason. Giddy took my 5-star Fantastic to rank 4 today. He's going to be rank 5, but I am out of ISO. He's such a utility beast. I'm sleeping. Oh yeah, Mr. Fantastic is really much better than majority of the people think. He legitimately is like 3rd best science champion. At this point, I think he poops on Void. He poops on most of the science champions. I think there's like Torch and arguably Captain America Infinity War above him. And then it's Mr. Fantastic. He's just so good, so versatile. You have no idea. And when you get the pleasure to run Mr. Fantastic, double Mr. Fantastic team with the rest of the Fantastic Four, and you have like 30% increased attack at base. You know, people normally run the She-Hulk and Power Sting synergy, but once you get Mr. Fantastic going, part of the shtick with Mr. Fantastic is that opponents don't get thrown many specials. So I don't really like that She-Hulk synergy. I prefer just another Mr. Fantastic, so I get 30% attack. And yeah, no, you can do some wonderful things. Also at work, doing the Thekiryu challenge. Well, sounds like you have yourself a nice work day. Sounds like you have a nice work day. So watch your arena advice video, good insight. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I have a couple of neat videos coming up today as well, so stay tuned for those. Stay tuned for those. Good morning, KD1. How are you? We'll get him 6-star. Even will press here, straight from Brazil. Oh, well, I hope I get him as a 6-star. And what's up, Will Perez? Hope you're having a great day in Brazil. How is the weather down there? Look at that. I'm just gonna stomp on this noob. We're just gonna stomp on this nerd. Check this out. There we go. Do you think Spider can solo 6.3 Medusa? Yeah, maybe. I think it's worth a shot if Spider-Ham is highly enough ranked. I mean, basically, in grind 51 million. You're behind. Good luck in England. I am a bit behind right now. I'm gonna need to because I haven't used any units so far and stuff like that. I haven't refreshed or boosted or anything at all. I'm just, you know, seeing what's what before I decide how many units I need to use and stuff. Today at some point I do need to start refreshing. I'm really kind of pissed off that I can grind as, you know, seriously as I can / want, and still will have to use a substantial amount of units. Really annoying. It's a fantastic design engine, man. Going on doing all that pooping on people. That's true. So just Spidey is better than him, I think, for this meta at least. It's debatable. I don't think so personally. I think Mr. Fantastic still has the upper hand. I think Spidey is, you know, the best in very small situation of fights. I think overall, in vast majority of the fights where you would want to use like either one of them or stuff like that, Mr. Fantastic still wins. I think there are far more fights that Mr. Fantastic can do really well than Spidey. That's the thing. But you know, might be wrong, who knows. What sig is good for Mr. Well, it's kind of like the higher the better. There is no sweet point. It's just the higher sig you get on him, the more power you'll get, the quicker you can ramp up, and the quicker you can do big damage kind of thing. And the more damage you can do. It's kind of like with Ghost and stuff like that. But you know, the more the better. But even unduped and like low sig, you can still put in a lot of work. I think Spam could be bleed opponent. Power stings ought to work. It's not about the bleeding, it's more about not triggering the masochism. But because you can safely always heavy Medusa, and with heavies you can mitigate your, you know, spider nonsense charge and stuff, I think it should be doable if Spider Ham is big enough. So Roach in the bathroom and shower at the gym. Ah, you pussy. And on top of that, if you run Despair, then if you have enough of the poppers on Medusa, you can mitigate the buffet healing as well. And Spider-Ham doesn't have any inherent buffs. Then there's Taunt as well to help you, so I think it ought to be possible. So why aren't top 3 science champs bad as suicides? Real name if you ask me. Because not every champion has to be great at suicides. And besides, Captain America Infinity War isn't bad at suicides. He actually handles them very well because you take absolutely no chip damage. And typically in a fight, you know, you either finish it with like 1 or 2 level 2s or you go for level 3s. So he doesn't even really suffer from recoil much. Because you don't have a special spamming playstyle. So Captain America Infinity War is actually quite good at suicides, if you ask me. I often run him with that. And I have not many issues. Torch and Mr. Fantastic, yeah, they're not too great. You can still use them for a handful of fights, you know. I often have Liquid Courage Double Edge on, but I still bring in Torch because I don't plan on torching, you know, every single fight in a path. And if I need to torch 2-3 fights or a boss, you know, I can still easily do that. That's also very silly kind of approach. There are only really a couple of champions in the game that you borderline can't play with suicides. Or maybe only for one fight, you know. Like Carnage, for instance, is a champion that you really don't want to play with suicides because he spams special attacks. You can do like 1 or 2 fights max. And he's a champion that, you know, you typically would bring in for more than that. So yeah, and like Professor X is really, really, really suicide friendly. So that's so forth. But most of the champions who are not particularly Liquid Courage Double Courage friendly, you can still use them perfectly adequate. Like I have a majority of my content with Liquid Courage Double Edge on, but I still use those champions. It just means that, you know, I can do it for every single fight in the quest. And that's okay. The biggest issue running Liquid Courage Double Edge is always the Mystic class, because there are hardly any Mystic champions that deal well with suicides, and also they're typically a class that special spams a lot. But now we have champions that handle it well, like Diablo and Claire and the others, so it's not as big of a deal anymore at all. It's much easier to play the game with Liquid Courage Double Edge now. Quake isn't bad at suicide though? Oh yeah, Quake isn't bad at suicides either. I understand English very much. I'm using Apple app that translates the text. That's okay, but this is a good opportunity for you to learn some better English. I mean, this is a good opportunity for you to learn some English. So, use it. Use it. Hey, what's up, Simrat? How are you doing? Little ducky that could. Quite like the Duckster. Quite like the Duckster. Oh, Deadwill Hell's Kitchen is, yeah, one of those champions too. Deadwill Hell's Kitchen you can use maybe for one fight and like that. What device do I use for the game? iPhone 12 Pro Max thing. So last generation's iPhone is what I use. Not the new one, did not upgrade, but the last year's iPhone. Do you know why Mr. Fantastic doesn't reduce the damage from the suicide debuffs? Yes, because they are activating well, one reason is because they are activating before the debuffs and debuff effects can take place, and B, it also specifies that it reduces the damage from debuffs that opponent is inflicting, not you inflict on yourself. That's kind of, you know, the wording of that ability. So SIG 20 Mr. Fantastic is worth a rank 3? Yes, definitely. SIG 20 Mr. Fantastic is well worth a rank 3. Mr. Fantastic is SIG 18 and gave him Science Gem. Yeah, I do think that Mr. Fantastic is well worth the gem. I do think so, indeed. Wouldn't have to think too much about it. Wouldn't have to think too much about it. But hello there, Eric Nelson. The duck has some excellent sound effects. Well, if you say so. But I never play with sound on. Alright, I need to add the Kamehameha sound to member commands. Damn it. Damn it. Now, when you grind for a featured champ, you just don't have time now. iPhone, no, it's iPhone 12. So yeah, I did not upgrade, so it's just the 12. Just the 12. I know, I know. Why don't you have 13? Eh. Right. Let's slap this cap. In Brazil, it costs about 8 minimum wage. Ooh. Yeah, and phones can be very... To be honest, like, I think phone prices, like, they went to the, like, 1,000... Like, first of all, iPhones aren't even really the most expensive phones anymore, I think. Like, Samsungs and high-end Androids are more expensive than top brand Apple. So I think they're, you know, purposely making that change. But yeah, phones can be very, very expensive. But if you think about everything that you're getting in a phone, you're not really... Okay, so here's the thing. You are paying a lot for the name. You are paying a lot for the branding and everything like that. And you are paying a lot of premium for few features or few slightly better kind of, you know, capabilities. Realistically, you can buy a phone for 1/5 of the price or 1/6 that's gonna do pretty much everything almost as good. You know what I mean? And kind of silly how we as people are. But in my case, I think it kind of makes a bit of sense to kind of keep on top of it. 11, 12, 13 are almost the same. Yeah, I do have 11 one as well nearby me. I do have an 11 that I'm not using.
Eric Nelson, $5.
Used as my secondary device. Because, you know, when I upgraded, I still left. It's out of charge now. I need to put it in charge now. But yeah, if I play like my mini account or something, I use the 11. So I do have that. But yeah, okay, Kamehameha. Here it comes then. That was quite loud. That was quite loud. But this is good. This is good. See, we do have the sound. I just need to give the members the ability to use that sound. I don't want to do it right now during the stream because I need to be as quick as I can with my champs, so can't pause for too much. But thank you very much. Still on 11 Pro Max. And again, there's nothing wrong with it really. I would not have upgraded to 12 if not for my phone carrier. I wasn't planning to upgrade last year either. I wasn't planning on upgrading last year either, but my phone company just offered me a free upgrade, and as a result of that upgrade I could actually reduce my monthly cost because I got the better actual contract part, so I ended up paying less per month and getting like the phone upgraded early, so I was kind of fine with that. So that's why I upgraded. That's the only reason why I upgraded to 12. I wasn't going to be upgrading to 12 either. But now that I did, I still need to wait till, you know, towards the end of this contract to be able to upgrade for free to next one, kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to do. If Kabam does MCOC convention again, do you think you would ever go? If Kabam does, yeah, I mean, it's not, but first of all, I wouldn't fly to USA for an MCOC convention. But, you know, if it's a Comic-Con full-blown event for several days, if that's what you mean, then yeah, I would want to go. I would try to go. You know, I can't promise if I would because it costs a lot of money and, you know, it's kind of like a big thing. But I would definitely be interested in it. Definitely want to try. In fact, I think at some point in summer, I'm going to start some sort of, you know, Comic-Con fund or something like that. But again, no, I at the moment, I don't know. I want to go, I really do, but we have so much expenses coming up with the house and everything else. Like, we moved in the new house recently, and that's literally, you know, it's always something. So I don't know if it would be fair for my girlfriend. If I would go, then it would have to kind of be like a holiday with me and my girlfriend, so we both get something out of it. And I don't know if she would agree to go to States. Like, you know, just I'd really have to think. I want to go, but, you know, life is life. And when you grow up, you have responsibilities. And I definitely wouldn't feel good blowing, you know, several £1,000 when there's still so much that we need to do around the house. Power outage for 5 hours. Ooh, that sucks, man. And the XS and it works. Yeah, I'm sure XS does too. XS is... I had XS phone, like, you know, when that was the latest one. And XS was just too small. Oh no, that was iPhone X. XS, you could get the bigger one, I think. But X was just too small for me. Hey, what's up, Rohit? How are you doing? 10 more events. Oh, that's fair playing Accelerate. Get sweaty hands, if so any solutions? Yeah, for sweaty hands, I do get them sometimes. Sometimes less, sometimes more. This is solution for your sweaty hands. You type in thumb sleeve. You can buy like a 10-pack for like $5 or $7 in Amazon, and I'm sure there's plenty of other places. And then you put them on your thumbs, you know, like this. You roll them on, and well, A, it kind of absorbs your sweat, and B, it's also made from a material that conducts electricity better, so the phone's more responsive to your inputs, and you don't get all that messing around with unwanted inputs and stuff like that. So yeah, that is a solution for sweaty hands, as well as obviously, you know, some cloth and wipes, or, you know, consistently wipe them and yeah. But yeah, that's a very good and easy solution. Why does it sound like Frisia saying come? I don't know. That's the sound they gave me. You don't like it? Do you need me to change it? Can you put sound effect down a few decibels so you get access to it? Yeah, I will put it. I can't do it here, but I can do it through Streamlabs. I will make it quieter. My wife's sister came from Madrid in July, bringing me an iPhone 30. Nice, nice. Congratulations. What's up, Relentless Grinds? Saying it's out to be so strong. Okay to be weak. Go wrong. It's not okay to be weak. It's not okay to be weak. Definitely understand the new home expenses. Yeah, there you go. Viewers. There you go. And what's up, Spawn? How are you doing? Playing incursions on stream. Just got one. Yeah, I only really put them on when I do like more serious content that's kind of like skill intensive. In arena, it doesn't matter really. You know, you miss an input, you do something silly. What's the worst thing? You're gonna get KO'd, you know. Ah, okay. And normally in arena fights, you can still kind of clutch it out. So in arena it really doesn't matter. Oh, just playing incursions on stream, just got done. Good, so you're gonna. Well, there you go. So get yourself also. XS, yeah, XS wasn't small. X was small. I forgot. I mixed them up because I had like all of them. I think 13 is the first one that I don't get. Like, since I think I started with iPhone 6. I think that's 6 Plus or whatever. That was my first iPhone. 6 or 7 is the one I started. And since then, I have had every single kind of like latest model. I had the 8, I had the 7, I had the 8, I had X, I had 11, I had 12. 13 is the first one that I don't have. So 13 is the one that I'm missing now. Is max tier 4 CC capacity after without sigil? I don't. I think it's 15. I think 15 tier 4 class catalyst is the max capacity. I'm not 100% sure without the sigil. Well, there you go. I hope the thumbies help you. I hope the thumbies help you. From the sides of the convention again. Yeah, it would be awesome if I ended up there somehow, one way. But, you know, hope it happens. Do you have a link? You can just Google. You don't need a link. Just go to like Amazon, type in thumb sleeve. You don't need a link for it. I do remember iPod, but, you know, at the time iPod came out, I wouldn't, you know, even think about affording one in a million years because I was living still in Latvia and wildly expensive. Are you saving your sigil points? Yes, I am still saving my sigil points. Don't I get frustrated from reading grinding? Yes, I do. I do get frustrated from reading grinding. Understand why soundbite? That soundbite used. Oh. Well, I'm gonna maybe check another one then. If this one isn't the one to your liking. Jeez. Hey, what's up, Rin? How am I doing? I'm buying a new house myself after 3 months. Which is 40k USD, and the rest I'm taking. Well, I hope it all works out for you. I hope it all works out for you. Yeah, obviously we didn't pay it all up front either. We have a substantial mortgage. I'm not saying confine yourself, you should let your emotions out, but your wording is okay to be weak is wrong. Well, yeah, I don't think that, you know, showing who you are is weak. I think... Anyways. What I think of weakness is largely as cowardice. Refusing to confront your problems. And stuff like that. Letting your emotions out, you know, does not necessarily have to mean you being weak. The single time I have to buy a new iPhone model for my girlfriend or my mom, my soul hurts. It will somatic pain. I really don't like iPhone stuff. I used to, like, before iPhone 6 or 7, I used to have all sorts of different Androids. I had the HTC One, I had, you know, different ones before that. I had Asus Zenfone at some point. Had Galaxies, several of them. And I was 100% hardcore Team Android. And, you know, I used to make all of the same jokes about iPhones, and it's like overpriced, and, you know, they're years late on all the coolest tech, and haha. You know, iPhone users are happy about, you know, this feature that Android got 2 years ago and shit like that. In reality, well, first of all, I don't think it's that important. You know, I just don't care. You know, phone is a phone for the most part. They do more or less the same thing. I'm not like some sort of active propagandist for one or another. But since I started using iPhone, it, you know, took a few months. I got used to them, and they are so bloody easy to use and nice and convenient, and they feel intuitive. And when it comes just from that action of pulling my phone out of the pocket, doing what I want to do with my phone for like 10 minutes, you know, checking something out or going somewhere in settings or replying to somebody and stuff like that, I have always found iPhones infinitely more pleasant to use, I think is the word. Might not have like all the same super specs, but, you know, everything feels smooth, everything works nice, you know, there aren't as many like, you know, update this kind of things, and it just seems kind of more reserved, more simple, more astute, you know what I mean? And, you know, it might not be for everybody, and it might be changed now because I haven't had an Android for quite a while and all that other stuff. But I'm perfectly happy. Unless there is, you know, I have been recently thinking more and more about trying out a new Android. But I don't even know if I want that, because Androids, you know, typically have, you can install this, you can install that, and then you're going to have like 9,000 different functions. Like, you know, even with the gaming phones, you know, you have these built-in, like, I was thinking maybe that, what is it, Lenovo Duo phone or whatever it was, where, you know, you can adjust your frame rates and stuff like that. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. It's like, I just want to open the phone, download the app, and play the game. I don't want to mess with like super ton of different settings. I just want, you know, for it to work. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try an Android in the near future, but we'll see. Okay, another take a lot of fill and easy to admit something isn't right with you. True, it ain't easy. Here's the thing, it's not as hard often admitting to others that something is or might be wrong with you. With me, I struggled a lot for a very long time admitting to myself on my weaknesses, my downsides, on the things that are seriously wrong with me. Because there are things like that, you know. I do genuinely have plenty of quirks and issues and areas where I want to improve myself. And for me, it was kind of relatively easy to say, you know, oh yeah, I'm like that, and I'm like that, and, you know, sorry, I'm trying or working on it or whatever. But actually, when you sit alone by yourself, your thoughts, kind of going over it, and I was like, yeah, that is a fucking problem, I need to deal with it. That to me, at least, was harder. 16 is a cap for sigil. There you go, 16 is a cap without sigil. Mom said that we are getting a new sigil champ. No, they have not said that. Completed 7.2 and got 6-star character from basic. Nice, congratulations, Mansurali. Congratulations. We took a fixed mortgage when we first bought, and it was, ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. I don't think that will okay, but it'll probably happen. There you go. Is iBomb worth rank 5 unawakened? Yeah, I think so. I think iBomb is worth rank 5 unawakened. Now fixed for 5 years and it's 500 a month. Cheaper's house price went up, so I technically owned more of the house. Ah, nice. Very good. Happy for you, Lawrence. That's good. Came by real quick to show love and slap that. Oh, thank you, Relentless. Thank you very much. And see you around when you wake up. Or you can be like me, using both parallel and the iPhone. Yeah, you can do that too, but you know, it's a substantial amount of money. Like, you know. No, you know. It is a substantial amount of money. Especially to keep both sets of devices up to date. Like, you know, even keeping iPhone like up to date is quite a lot of money. Android because I feel trapped in iOS, can do whatever I want. Well, that's the thing. I don't want to do much. You know, I don't want the hassle. I don't want to spend half an hour digging settings and personalizing all my icons and stuff like that. I generally just don't care about things like that too much. And that's exactly what I don't want from my phone. I don't want my smartphone to make me feel stupid. I want my smartphone to be there to do things that I, you know, need it to do, and find out things that I need to find out, and, you know, use apps that I need to use. Don't want my smartphone make me feel like a muppet when I can't decide between screen refresh rates and shit like that. Just like, work, goddammit, that's all I need from you. Let's take the obesity, accept that it's BS, I'm just a lazy person, you don't want to work out. What's in you today? You know? You're just trying to push all these, yeah, self-realizations so early and so harsh. You know, I do think that there are like, again, I'm not obese, I've never been obese, so obviously don't have first-hand experience. And generally do think there are people, like, first of all, we're all different. We all have different metabolism. Like, I have had so many people really upset with me in life because I have a rapid metabolism. And up until I turned 30, it was pretty much impossible for me to put up the weight. And I ate like a pig. At about 30, I found myself first time with a bit of a belly. And then I had, for the first time in my life, I started watching a bit what I eat. I ate less carbs, I started eating less bread and less sugar and stuff like that. Less like chocolate and crisps and shit. And, you know, I exercised a bit and, you know, got rid of it because I promised myself I never want to walk around with like a massive belly. But there are people who can eat just like, let's say, an average ordinary person and gain weight quicker than you would, for instance. So, you know, there is that, but again, I think for the most part, there are many different reasons why people are obese, and a lot of them isn't even really their own fault. I think the fact that global population is getting more and more obese is much more to do with food producers chasing profit, putting in all sorts of God knows what hormones and meat. Everything has like X amount of sugar, pushing, you know, bigger packages and shit like that, over quality, full of chemicals. Like, you know, the cancer thing has exploded because of shit like that. And it's just the culture, as much to blame as the individual, if not more. And, you know, that needs to be addressed. So it's more complex subject. To get new sigil champ, it should definitely be beta bill. We get, I'm kind of hoping for white vision. Acceptance feels like a poor attempt to feel better about yourself. Well, it isn't. Well, it isn't. If you want to do something, you know, if you're an asshole, for instance, you're flat out an asshole. First of all, you need to be fully self-aware of the fact that you're an asshole. So you need to accept the fact that you're an asshole. And then you can try to deliberately try and stop yourself from saying or doing asshole stuff when opportunities present itself. And you can deliberately try and help some people. If you don't accept the fact that you're a complete shithead, you're a lot less likely to fix it. Because you just, oh, that's not bad, you know, that's normal, that's how I always behave, you know. If you want to do something about your weaknesses and problems and issues and downsides, you know, as stupid and preachy as it sounds, first of all, you need to make total peace with all of the expressions of that same thing. You need to understand why you are the way you are. Why do you do those things? You need to accept them. You can't run away from them. You can't, you know, deny and lie and try and weasel out of it. Like, you know, all those people, I decided to change myself. And on the first day when you think that you are changing yourself, like, I'm not an asshole anymore. No, you're still an asshole. You're still 100% an asshole in everybody's eyes. You know, and then you need to accept the fact that you're an asshole for as long as it takes until people stop thinking of you that way. Or you stop thinking of yourself that way. So guys, 6-star sub Guardian, Punisher 2099, Awakened Sentinel, 1-2 Tech Gem, good upgrade. I'd go with Punisher probably. I'd honestly go with Punisher. Oh, Awakened Sentinel, maybe Sentinel, but I think Punisher. It's kind of up to you. Oh, if you have a smaller account, then it's Sentinel. Died months I have gone back to Pinchak 100% with these new champs. Do you think it's best for the Grandmaster? So it's still more or less the same champions. Like Hercules is one of the better options now as well. But you know, ramped up Aegon is, you know, pretty much the GOAT. Morningstar's great, Doom's alright, Cap America Infinity War's alright. Grandmaster is one of those fights you can do with any champion. It's kind of like how well you play. But there haven't been that many new champions that are, you know, significantly better for Grandmaster. I wonder how Kitty does. Kitty should be okay too. I was big iPhone fan, but now I just don't understand what's the difference. iPhone 13 so much. There's no difference, but again, it's just phones. I don't think it's that important of a thing. Telling you how to live your life, that advertised. What are you talking about, Devansh, now? I think you're trying to tackle too much too soon, too early. Or at least I'm not exactly understanding your underlying point there. I feel like I was saying stuff about yourself scary because it's opening Pandora's box. Yeah, exactly. It is scary. And often too much comes out too quick. Team Samsung all day? Hey, that's fair. Be on whichever team you want. Yeah. Example, you're not allowed. It's okay. I don't need it. What other game do you play? I don't really play other games. I just play this one mainly. I think this culture got it wrong. You should accept it. Again, Devansh, I think our past week's conversations has hit you a bit too hard, and you have went down a rabbit hole. You take it step by step, man. I think you're trying to swallow and tackle too much too soon. Samsung in Europe had Exynos processors instead of Snapdragon because they are mean to us. Because they are mean and nasty to us. What's up, Nani? How aspect of ward node works? Every time opponent uses special attack, they go unstoppable. Eventually, they go permanently unblockable because your block proficiency is being permanently reduced in background. So first thing that you need to know, the higher block proficiency your champion has, the longer you have until they go unblockable. Second thing, what you need to know is that, yeah, when they use specials, they are unstoppable. You can intercept to remove that unstoppable, in which case assisted intercept champions are the best and safest way to do it. But typically, for most part, when you deal with aspect of war, there are two good options. One good option is to make sure opponents do not use special attacks, and that is, you know, with very efficient power control. Second good option is to use champions who can access slow reliably and persistently, and ideally without needing to parry, because eventually they will be unblockable anyways, but at least you can prevent them from being unstoppable and fight normally. Third way how to counter aspect of war is just be a good interceptor, or use the assisted intercept champions. That's about it. Honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with the environment. Yeah, of course. Of course, environment shapes. Like, here's a very simple way to describe every single one of us. All of us right now in this space is the total sum of every decision and every experience we have had. All of that has shaped us. Every decision that we have made has played a part of who we become. And every experience we have had, every conversation we have had, every, you know, scary moment, every ass whooping that we have had, or every argument has shaped us who we are. That is the total sum of who we are. And obviously your environment plays a lot in that. Because that's your starting point. That largely dictates what experience you will have, especially early on. It also often dictates what decisions you will make. Because if you are born rich, you will not have to choose whether you're going to eat today or keep your house warm, for instance. You're never going to have that option to do. You're going to have to choose which brand, I don't know, shoes you want or something. So those are different decisions that take away your attention, thought process, and that shapes who we are. Every single one of us is a total sum of all of our decisions and experiences. Good morning. Hey, what's up, Slinger? Reaching the assholes and shit, see? I'm trying not to. I can't understand why Devansh is so determined to talk about it in that degree. I genuinely don't understand. Like, I never like to dismiss anyone, you know, due to their age. Considering that, you know, 3 days ago, you were making, like, fart jokes and shit. I do think that, you know, a couple of last streams have hit you a bit too hard, and it's okay. If you really want to talk about anything in detail like that, you know, I always encourage it. I'm just a bit surprised. What is the reason you're trying to tackle such a philosophical and complex matters like so quickly, so early on? You know, you don't need to jump in all of it straight away. At this point, I think here's the thing: little bit of knowledge or a little bit of understanding is a very dangerous thing. And I'm very glad that, you know, you have started processing things like that more, and that's good. But a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of understanding often gives you fake confidence that you can, you know, give a meaningful insight in a subject that you have just started exploring yourself. Not that I'm some sort of expert at all, but believe you me, to kind of like reach the conclusions that I have reached and how the words come out of my mouth that I am saying, for many of those things I have been pondering them over for a decade now. And we're all different, we're all in a different time frame, but what I'm trying to say is that it just feels like all the hard work I had on myself being called unnecessary. No, it's not unnecessary, it's all very important. A lot of things may seem unnecessary, but they still shape who you are. That's like one of the reasons, you know, why you shouldn't regret you know, that's why I don't particularly believe in regret, especially when it comes to like non-productive effort. I am the type of person who likes to be as productive, and, you know, for instance, I don't necessarily like to work super hard, even though I don't fear it and I don't mind it. I like to achieve as much as I can at the same time. I like to work as smart as I can, effectively. So, like, my ideal, like, route to a completed job, well-completed job, includes finding the most efficient way how to achieve something, not just kind of like bulldoze through it all. Anyways, and all of that, all of those failures, when you do something stupid, or when you have put an effort in something that might not have yielded the results that you're looking for, they still are useful, because those are still your experiences, and next time you're going to have to make those decisions, you know, they're going to be helpful. You learn from things like that. So you shouldn't look at as, you know, your effort and struggles as useless or invalidated. Anybody else can invalidate it as much as they want it, but for you, they much more often are more meaningful than a task that you have completed perfectly, or something that you have invested time and it has, you know, given you great returns. Second channel will have more sub than this one. I hope it does. I hope it does. Right, I have a couple of videos that I need to upload on second channel that probably will come on Thursday Friday most likely. So Friday there should be at least a couple of videos coming. I might try to squeeze one in before Friday. I'm gonna try and get one on latest on Friday. Morning. Cap Falcon and Ant-Man synergy? Yeah, we can make... You know, how many videos? And I might make one. I'm not saying that I will. I'm not saying that I won't. But, you know, I think there's plenty of videos on... I think there's plenty of videos on the That's energy. So we'll see. I might make one. Okay, there are some things people can control in his life. Well, laziness in itself, I don't necessarily think is characteristics. You can control it. A good way of it, looking at it, is like, we all can be lazy. You know what is laziness? Okay, let me, like, this is gonna be very, very cheesy. For some, it's gonna be very spiritual, or for some, it depends how your brain works. For some, this is physics point, first of all. This is purely physics. But, you know, you can kind of carry it over in pretty much every aspect of life. Do you know what color is black? Like, do you know what is black? So I'm not necessarily going to wait for the answer, but here's the thing. Every color is, you know, strictly from physics point, just like, you know, a level of, you know, certain frequency electromagnetic wave. But the point is that every color except black exists. That is a wave. Yeah? Black is the only thing that we refer to it as a color, when in reality it's absence of color, it's absence of light, it's absence of electromagnetic waves. So darkness in itself, darkness and black, is absence of color, absence of light, more specifically. So darkness is absence of light, and it's true in physics, and it's true in your own personal life, spiritually. Yeah, darkness is absence of light. When you're depressed, why? It's because you lack light and you lack positivity in your life. So it goes from physics to real world and spirituality and everywhere else very quickly. And the same thing is with laziness. Laziness is absence of motivation. Laziness is, you know, absence of energy and willpower and desire. There are times when I can be the laziest human being possible, when I will not leave the bed to feed myself, or when I will stay in the bed for an extra hour wanting to go to toilet, and, you know, I'm gonna hold it in because I'm too comfortable in the bed or something like that, you know, especially when I'm depressed. And I do struggle with depression. That's kind of like an open thing that I have talked a lot in the past. There are days when I can be the laziest human being possible. As lazy as one comes. And there are days when I'm not depressed, and I'm energetic, and I can wake up at 4 a.m. I can start working. I can go to the store as soon as it opens. 6 a.m. I'm, you know, by the door of the store. I can come back, make my girlfriend breakfast, do a stream, go outside, fix up pens, you know, do some gardening, wash the dishes, make some meal, make 4 videos, 5 videos, and, you know, carry on, and you know, do more in one day. Do more in one day than I do in like 5 or 6. Any more laziness needs intent? I don't think so. I genuinely believe that just like darkness, laziness is lack of happiness. Laziness is lack of motivation. Laziness is lack of energy. I think there is a spectrum. You can be extremely hardworking when you're extremely motivated and you have ambitions and you have things to achieve. And you can be extremely lazy when you lack faith in yourself, when you lack energy. That is how I look at it. I might be wrong, but that's how I view it. Do powers things work against crit me? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think they do, but they might. I don't think they do, but they might. Stop not low. Kitty can tank Grandmaster special too, so better than other. There you go. Kitty should be quite good. I'm getting an early start here. Yeah, I know. But Jeez, you guys are trying to drag me in deep waters very early. Like, I'm just trying to grind some arena here today. I did not want to dissect the human mind this early in the morning. I did not want to dissect the human mind this early in the morning. But yeah, I think Lawrence hit the nail. You know, I think you might have missed the point of one of those videos that you watched, or one of the streams that we had. Generally, the ones during the pandemic, I have gained weight. Start exercising every day, convincing yourself to do it. Well, that's another thing is, in your case, if you have gained... What is it? I'm gonna quote Kingsman directly here. Anybody watched Kingsman? Do you like XZ shooting shit up? Which one of you liked Colin Firth in that movie? Galahad, the guy who inducted Kingsman. Right? Just when I see in a gym and everybody's healthy and blah blah blah. So, anyways, direct quote from Mr. Galahad himself. True nobility, you know. Wait, can't believe I forgot that quote. Made such a big fuss about it. It was about true nobility is bettering your former self. I think that was the quote. I'm quite sure that was a quote. True nobility is bettering your former self. And this is again one of those cliches, one of those dogmas. And as you grow up, you understand it more. When, you know, there will always be super successful, hyper, you know, attractive or super wealthy people. And comparing yourself to unrealistically high standards, you know, it's just going to bring you misery. What I try to do myself is, I try to compare myself with myself 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. See the things that I have changed about myself that I like, see the things that I dislike, and I you know, try to address them. And the same is with, you know, if you're gained weight, compare yourself today, after, you know, started exercising 2 months or whatever, with how you were at your fattest, not how you were at your best. You know, pick a reasonable point of yourself to compare yourself with. So don't worry about somebody else that's, you know, super jacked in the gym. You know, chances are, if they're like super jacked in the gym, that first of all, A, they're fucking gym fanatics. So B, that they're using some sort of steroids or artificial shit and how they devote their entire personalities and their entire lives to gym. Not, you know, trying to bad talk people who are in shape. I'm just saying, you know, there are a lot of people in an average gym who have made their entire personality to be the gym guy or to be the guy that lifts, and, you know, that's all they talk about, that's all they live by. And, you know, in my perspective, that's not the most fulfilling life or the happiest life. You eat 6 times a day only raw chicken and rice or something shit like or, you know, only unseasoned chicken and rice and shit like that to kind of like achieve those best results. You know, so you see them and they look good, yeah, but you don't know if they're doing all the good. What's up, Cassie? How are you doing? Thank you very much for the tenor. That's very kind of you. It's very kind of you. Let me get your name up there. I'm behind the chat now. And all of these big talks. Again, Devanch, I think you're trying to buy too much too early. I think you're trying to buy too much too early. I think you need to dial down the self-reflection bit. And for people, especially for somebody who just only recently started thinking about things like that, my personal recommendation is to take it in as slow as you can. Don't jump in it, because you can drown. And then you can, you know, think yourself in depression, and because we all have a lot to unpack. If you have lived even 18 years on this planet, you have a lot to unpack. You have a lot to be ashamed of, you have a lot to be proud of, But guess what? You know, that's all of us. That's every single one of us. Because we're growing, we're learning, and we're maturing. What I recommend to you, Devansh, is for a while, try thinking in as simple terms possible. Try thinking net positive, net negative. Do you think going to exercise is good for you or no? Yes, good, do it. Do you think like overeating and stuff like that is bad for you? Yes, stop that. You know, do you think listening to me could potentially be helpful to you? Yes, come back to the next stream. You know, simplify it. I know the world is very difficult and the world is very complex, and I don't think there has been a single human being alive who has had a full understanding of everything that's happening around them. From physics standpoint, from, you know, mental standpoint, from societal standpoint, from spiritual standpoint, there are many kind of viewpoints you can view life, and, you know, each of them is as complex as the next one. What you are trying to do right now is you are trying to analyze everything about yourself, about people around you, and, you know, it's not easy. It's not possible, really. And it never will be. Not for a human anyways. Maybe some fucking Sentinel AI. And just take it simply. Yeah, exactly. You got too excited, exactly. And it's kind of like, what's the best way to put it? You're that guy who attends one business class and is trying to build new Google. Or you're the guy who attends, you know, one mass in church and is going to try teaching everybody about the true meaning of spirituality. That's what I say. You're trying to bite too much too early. Slow down. It's kind of like, yeah. You read the first chapter for the math exam, you know, and you're trying to take the final exam after only reading, you know, the first few pages of the book. Yeah, I'm doing Swap Arena as well. Good luck, Renegade. Got him first round, going for dupe. I did not get him first round, but I'll try to get him second round. What do you think Renegade is going to be his cutoff in the second round? Can you tell me? What do you think his cutoff in second round is going to be? What's toxic masculinity? Just felt like someone saying. Again, toxic masculinity, shit like that. First of all, here's going to be my lifelong advice to you. Avoid all of these fucking buzzwords. Whenever you use all of these buzzwords, A, it puts people on edge needlessly. And B, it immediately shifted gears about what people are saying. What I'm trying to say, because of how stupid discussion about all of these buzzword terms has become, people already have like pre-programmed kind of assumptions. For instance, we can talk about schools, and I can talk about what I think should or should not be taught in schools, and what things, you know, I personally learned, and we can have very civil discussion in between 100 people. And then I can say CRT, and that's currently, you know, a very big buzzword, and a lot of people will immediately forget about 10 of the things that I had said and they will agree with, and they're gonna stop looking at the discussion that we had, and they're gonna be starting to have discussion about CRT, because that's how much they have heard about the new stuff like that. So if you're actually genuinely trying to get your point across, avoid all of these labels and controversial terms. You can talk about them, you can discuss the subject in them, but, you know, there are certain red flags that are always being brought up around the people who use these buzzwords, at least to me. Like when somebody says, oh, I'm a Sigma male, I'm 90% sure that the guy is going to be a dick, you know? Or when people say CRT and stuff like that. And there are, like, language matters, and how you use your language matters. And words, you know, words carry more weight than the direct meaning. So yeah. But no, being fat is not healthy. And people who say it is are wrong. Being fat is the opposite of being healthy. Human body was not created to be fat. It doesn't mean that you can't have a good, happy life if you are fat. It doesn't mean that you are, you know, worth less as a human if you are fat. But it definitely is not a good thing. And that's as simple as that. And that's, I think, you know, it's silly that some people would even try to negotiate it. Any tip for getting better timing with Hawkeye? Wait for the tip for getting better timing with Hawkeye. Wait for the arrow to glow up. If you release your thumb when the arrow is glowing, that's kind of like your visual cue, visual takeaway. Wait for the tip of the Hawkeye's arrow to glow up, and then you're gonna get the perfect release. First things work against Do You Bleed, so I thought, why not crispy? Because kabam is kabam. All of these is made up. Being rich is mental, has all health. Yeah, too. Being rich can be a mental health, you know, source of mental problems too. Release the button when you see the tip of, yeah, there you go. It feels like all the hard work. Pick up Infinity War or Blade, 6-star. Which one better to rank 3, or use generic Awakening Gem? Cap Infinity War is better. Cap Infinity War is much better than Blade. LZW. When I hold it during special attack, you start holding the screen after the first hit, and then you let it go when the arrow shines. One secondary in some champion, so they can dupe him, so they don't have to use Awakening Gem. No problem, man. When they had discussion, it's alright. Don't worry. Don't worry about too much damage. Yeah, well, these MCOC streams turn into debate for pretty much everything, but you know, that's kind of a good thing about them as well. Okay, let me catch up very quickly. How much points am I going to put up? Well, you went for a 175, so something about that. This is much more than just an MCO stream. Yeah, it is. Like it's one null cast. Like black hole, it's fuck you. Sucks in life. Having discussion like this help you grow up since you think you're right, but you're... Oh, there you go. Laziness needs it. There you go. Physics sometimes find boring. Chemistry. I find physics fascinating. I find chemistry boring though. I find chemics boring. Physics fascinating. But you know, there are good things for chemistry too. KT, I find a good way to start my mornings is to drop to the floor as soon as I get out of the bed and knock out good 50 push-ups regardless how tired I am. I am not physically fit enough to do 50, but I think you might be onto something. I think I should probably start with, you know, 20. I mean, I could probably do 50, but then I'd be fucked. You memorize... Oh. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not that much into chemistry. Greetings from Poland. Greetings from UK. What's up, Marek? How are you doing? Any bad reviews about this last Kingsman that I didn't even watch it worth watching? Honestly, I watched it. It isn't like horrible. It's not the worst movie that I've seen recently, but it isn't as good as the first two by no means. It is not as good as first two. You know, like, I did not enjoy it as much as first two. First one was the best. Second one was kind of third one is more of Nobody was a great movie. Yeah, Nobody was awesome. I'm actually worse than my past self. I just earn more. Well, then it is something you might want to address. But you know, if you truly feel that you are worse as a human, if you truly feel that you are doing worse or you're unhappier than you used to be, you know, there's still time to change all of that. Well, time to change all of that. Sending the argument wasn't the problem, it was the way you did it. That's sort of exactly the opposite with the most recent video. And well, again, you know, it's no need to kind of harp on it too much. No need to harp on it too much. I didn't see second vid. I'm just guessing. Well, it's okay. Now you're gonna have to go and watch it. That's Emma. To my alliance buddies, I'm doing that. Okay. Gilly 2099 can handle crossbones. Yes, Gilly 2099 can handle crossbones. 100%. So I don't worry about it, Devonch. Don't worry. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. That's a good way to put it as well, Slinger. Don't be the guy who, you know. Only my watch list. What did this talk about? Absolutely everything and nothing at the same time. Life outside MCOC, I suppose. So I see you should double check what you're saying. Oh yeah. That is also true. Just common manners, common courtesy, and reasonably decent choice of words always help you get your point across better. Politeness, manners, and you know, not you know, going into hyperboles, refraining from sarcasm. If you truly want to be heard, you do need to make others want to listen to you. And you know, you can change it very easily with a single insult or hyperbole or rudeness in general. You have a lot of places to discuss it in here. Again, you're always welcome to discuss whatever you want with me here, or you can message me directly. No, I do genuinely try my best to help a lot of people in private as well, because a lot of people are too shy to talk about things like that or personal stuff on streams. And you'd be surprised how many people I actually do end up talking to daily on lineups and stuff like that. And I genuinely like helping people. That's the reason why I made the second channel in the first place, because I felt that me making MCOC content is not what, you know, I should be doing. It's not what I even enjoy more, and it's not the best I can do. And also when it comes to looking for my part-time job, which I'm still doing, I want to, because here's the thing, I either need to go and get some qualifications and courses, which is most likely, but I want to find a job where I can genuinely help people and talk to them. Understanding you are what you eat. Yeah, okay, that you are what you eat can be the source of it. Again, laziness is often not intentional. That's the thing. That's why I talk about it. Laziness is absence of energy. Laziness is absence of happiness. Laziness is absence of ambition or determination, or just, as you said yourself, energy. And you know, a lot of that can definitely be solved with proper diet, making sure that you have like all the necessary ingredients in you. That's exactly kind of alongside the point that I was making. You know, it literally could be down to the diet, and diet causing absence of proper energy or, you know, brain function. Don't even know what CRT is. I know cardiac resynchronization therapy, but I don't think that's, no, it's not that. It's just one of the, it's American thing right now, basically. I think more than any other country, America focuses on hateful race relationships. And because it's in America, because it's in Hollywood, and because we have celebrity worship, it just infects the planet. $125 stars and 41 6 stars. For Stark Spidey. I made a video for you. Go on and figure it out. Made a video specifically for you. Go and figure it out. Feel much lighter now? Good. Good. And don't answer. I just jokingly asked. Well, it's too late. You should have started your sentence with that. Did I come off insulting? You came... It's not necessarily insulting what you did. It was more like composure, arrogant, preachy in a bad way. What's the best way to describe it? High-minded? It was a combination of asserting yourself above other people, whilst it was clear to majority of the people that you do not have the necessary foundation for the topic of conversation that you chose in the scope, in the gravity, in the size that you are trying to discuss. It's kind of like, imagine if I would make a video explaining NATO and America exactly what they need to do in order to sort out the Ukrainian and Russian conflict right now, and present it with the confidence like, if you do not listen to me, you are silly people. I know best. Do this exact same thing that I say you should do, and everything's gonna be okay, kind of thing. You know, you can never do that because there's no fucking idea. It's like all of those people, you know, are better educated on the subject, has more experience, has more information, and it would be just absolute insanity for me to pretend that I know better than everybody else does. I could make a video discussing the subject, but it has to come from, you know, humble standpoint. It has to come with a disclaimer, I'm not an expert, you know, and stuff like that. And it can be me conveying my thoughts, but it can't be me telling, you know, entire countries and governments what to do and how to do it. There's a big difference of how you present yourself, and that also obviously leaves a very significant gap of your personal self-evaluation. If you are in a mindset where you can advise people who are much more knowledgeable on a specific subject than you are, and everybody knows it, you come off as an extremely arrogant asshole because you think of yourself as better than others who clearly know more about the subject, kind of thing, you know. So that's kind of like one of those public things where you need to be careful. And I have made mistakes in that area too. Sometimes when I present my statements, I don't think about it, you know, and accidentally I do it. And just like you didn't do it on purpose, and you know, making these mistakes is normal. But when you speak publicly, it's one of the more important things is to, what's the best way to put it, not to actively put yourself above others, or at least, yeah, do not aggressively do so. Even if you think like it kind of goes as one of those same things where, you know, if you are smart, you don't need to tell other people that you are smart. Other people are going to figure it out eventually. If you are physically strong and imposing, you don't need to tell at the beginning of a conversation or a thread that you are physically strong and imposing. You know, trust me, they'll see. And quite often, the fact that you feel it necessary to kind of emphasize that, oh, I'm this and that knowledgeable, or I'm this and that good, and stuff like that, you know, gives the opposite effect. There are times then it's worthwhile to invoke your credentials or your level of intellect and whatever in order to establish credibility, you know, that you're not completely random idiot who's talking about the subject. There are a lot of times when that's completely unnecessary and does much more harm than good. And that's kind of, you know, one of those things. Hey, what's up, Jacob? How are you doing? And pleasure to see you here. Pleasure to see you. I have heard you have been busy. You dog. I have heard you have been busy. Still a bastard, probably. Still an asshole. Kinda miss you a bit. Need somebody who helps me, you know, keep the wild folks in check. Feel very lucky. Our country only had lockdowns only in 2020. We're free to do internet 21. Nice. Yeah, the whole COVID thing is just fucked up from beginning to the end. Everything about COVID, like, if you take a step back and if you like consider it, let's say 20 years from now, assuming, you know, the world still exists in a reasonable fashion, and you learn about COVID epidemic in some random country, you really have to do your head scratcher when you're presented with the facts. So everything that happened around COVID, the censorship, the fear-mongering, the lockdowns, the measures that didn't work, the wear the masks, don't wear the masks, wear the 3 masks, wear 1 mask only in between bites, and then you have to wear your mask when you go to the toilet, and a point where you need to get vaccinated so you save your neighbors. If you're not vaccinated, you know, you're killing your grandpa and shit like that. And then it turns out, you know, vaccines does not stop the spread at all, or hardly any, but you still need to get vaccinated, you know. Then it turned out you're an idiot if you don't get vaccinated, because then you're much more likely to, you know, have serious, and everything around COVID from one place to another is stupid. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like, you know, super kind of like right-sided that nothing should have been done. You know, like the first protest that went like against mask mandates on like day 1 of them when nothing was clear, you know, I'm not pro that, you know. I was quite against that. I was like, just chill, fuckers, you know. This is a fucking new thing. Nobody knows what to do. Why do you have to be assholes like immediately, you know? If you're protesting against mask mandates or vaccine mandates or shit like that now, you know, I get it, because, you know, we know much more about it. But realistically, the whole COVID thing is, you know, a fucking circus. It really has been a fucking circus. It's like there are, I don't know, 150 countries in the world believe in natural immunity, and, you know, it counts as, you know, having an immunity. 50 countries it doesn't, and it's just fucking unreal how in a global society where information is available everywhere to everyone, the same information, you know, we can have 10 country leaders who read exactly the same information and arrive fucking 10 different, you know, conclusions. It's just weird and funny, and it just shows how silly bureaucracy is. I'm not saying that everybody who works in government is silly. No, I'm sure there are a lot of smart people, but ultimately, overblown, huge bureaucratic establishments, I just find them silly. You know, the fact that if you want to build a bridge, you need to spend 5 years planning and shit like that. It still makes no sense to me. You know, all the paperwork, all the process, stuff like that. All the rules and regulations, you know, it's just gonna too fucking much, you know. We're living at a time when we don't know 5% of our laws. Easy to remember, like, you know, the very basics, you know. Okay, don't steal shit, don't kill other people and stuff like that. But, you know, every single thing, whether we're talking business, whether we're talking, I don't know, education or whatever else, is implanted with fucking mountains and mountains of weird, unexplainable laws that, you know, haven't been reworked from decades ago and make no fucking sense. And the end result is that you want to do something simple, like, I don't know, build a shed in your garden, and in some countries you need to wait, you know, fucking 8 years for approval. And in many countries you can just fucking do it and don't tell anyone and nobody cares, and, you know, there isn't law for it in the first place because government realized that, you know, they shouldn't necessarily tell people whether to build a shed or not. So, and it's also subjective from country to country, and here is like this thing, you know. I do think democracy is the best that we have come up with as a human race, but I do not believe that it is the best thing that we can do, or at least not in a way and form that is established right now. I do believe that currently democracy is the best that we have, but I don't think that there can't be some better system, at least from current democracy. I do believe that democracy is the most fair way of governing people, but at the same time, in its current version, it's by far the most expensive, the least effective, the most time-consuming way to do anything. And but we need to understand that in our lives, we're not living in democracy. Even your families, you know, you're not living in democracy. If you really want to do something, you can go and do it, right? Whether your, I don't know, wife wants you to or not. And let's say, you know, you live with 3 kids and that's a household and there are 5 people. You're not going to ask a vote to them. Why? Because you don't think that your children are smart enough, right? So their opinion counts less. Or if you're the breadwinner of the family and if you're going to want to spend, you know, $200 on something that you want and your wife wouldn't want you to, you're still going to spend it, and sometimes not even going to tell your wife. Why? Because you think that you have the moral right to do so because you have earned that money. Like, in small social groups, you know, we never live in a democracy. We live in democracies only as, you know, larger gatherings of the people. And that typically is, you know, citywide or countrywide. Even like our social, like, clubs and shit like that, hardly any of them are democratic by their build. There are hierarchical structures that are different. And the biggest problem, like, that I see today is one of the bigger problems, alongside the huge bureaucracy and the cost of it, because it costs a shitload of money. You have 50 people do nothing but, you know, ponder whether you should be able to build your shed. I think the biggest problem is at which point the crossover is. At which point your country's opinion, what you should or should not be allowed, you know, which things they should be able to regulate. And that's very unclear. Like, if you own your own house, you're the owner of your property, you're not harming anybody else. You should be doing what you want with that property. But no, you need to get these 99 permits and shit like that. You know, obviously you should get some sort of permit that basically just checks that you're not going to kill anybody by building, you know, another floor or an extension of a house or something like that. But many things, you know, currently just make absolutely no fucking sense. And they cost a lot of money to everyone. And the stupidest question is, you know, how come we can have homeless people that we pay money to stay homeless? You know, we still give them benefits and stuff like that. And at the same time, we have, you know, bureaucratic idiots who do nothing, get paid even more money for doing basically nothing. And, you know, why is that a thing? Why do we pay some person in a suit to do completely meaningless jobs that shouldn't exist in the first place? And why are we not helping those who need the help more? You know, again, the whole homelessness thing, that's another issue where, you know, a lot of people either do it by choice or have done it to themselves, and, you know, there should be some accountability. But ultimately, I think everybody understands that it's not quite fair. And we have people who are, both groups, as far as I'm concerned, are burden to society because they're, you know, paid by the society. Only one of them gets to live in fancy homes, feel self-important, and wear nice suits. And one of them have absolutely nothing. Anyways, now I kind of got into too big of a tangent there, but the point what I'm trying to say is, that very few people really think about democracy in your own lives. And you don't live your life in a democratic manner. I can guarantee you that. You don't run your family, or you're not a part of democratic family. There is somebody in charge. There's a couple people in charge. And there's no democracy there. You don't decide everything by voting, do you? And it's important to understand that, because we're not built like that. Speaking of Muppets, what's up, Jacob? Missed you too? Too many Muppets? I 100% understand you. I 100% understand you. Genuinely miss you. Genuinely miss you. Israel, all mandates and limitations are, and even QR codes are even gone cancelled. Good. UK too. UK too. UK effectively cancelled, I think, starting 1st of April or sometime in March exactly. Every single law or restriction or point that has been written in law about COVID is revoked and cancelled. So in UK's legislation will effectively look like pre-COVID legislation. There will be no mention of COVID back in the law books. COVID has destroyed lives, broken people, 100%. COVID has destroyed, broken people, and here's the thing. COVID destroyed some lives. Governments destroyed way more than that, some. The way I think. I genuinely think what our beautiful heads of states across the planet did in many aspects was way more harmful than what that virus could have done. You know what I mean? I do think that there were obvious and self-evident things that we did right. There are so many things that we did wrong, and there were so many conversations that we had the wrong way, and there is such a negative social impact in trust in doctors and governments, and rightfully so, because they fucked up. They did really, really shit jobs, and they fucked over a lot of people. Many more people than the virus ever did. Masking and early vaccine acceptance would have lowered the damage, but again, governments were doing the damage themselves. If governments actually did their job effectively, they could have saved way more lives, and they could have destroyed way less lives. That is what happened. The political games, the party politics, the individual ambitions. For instance, the fact that I don't want to go into details, but the whole Fauci thing, I know he got attacked a lot unfairly, but it does fucking turn out that all the fucking investigations and shit like that was corrupt, and it's just crazy. But at least here we are. At least it's over. But the world is different than it was 2 years ago. Or it's very, very much different. Hey, what's up, Legacy? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I heard you were doing Karina Dance-Off Challenge. Well, I didn't hear. I saw the stream, but I was just waking up. I think I saw you were at Kamala Khan. Something like that. How did you enjoy your Star-Lord run? There is very many stupid rules and process in construction. Of course there are. Of course there are. My state, Western Australia, we have pretty much had no COVID until the end of last year due to strong mandates and a lot of luck. Yeah, with Australia, and every country obviously has slightly different situations, and Australia is one of them. Very, very separated, secluded. Oh, so well, grand nice day for you all. Oh, that's it. See you later, Peter. Hope you are well too. Okay, I hope you're having a good morning. It's alright. It's a weird morning, I'll tell you that. It's quite weird. Stream has not went the way I thought it's gonna go. But it's okay. Hey, what's up, Ankit? How are you doing? Off to bed. I'll see you later. See you later then. Alligator. Yes, I said it. Okay, I'm on this one. James. Any? Got the same thinking? Well, there you go. Doctors go and just had different views. Doctors are an MP any day. Yeah. But again, even with doctors, you know, it's not like they have, you know, went out of this unscathed. Again, I'm just gonna say it like that. The world is very different than it was 2 years ago. Did not have fun time. Yeah, the Star-Lord's one is the worst one. The Star-Lord's one is definitely the worst one. Must never read the MCOC stories. Didn't know MCOC lore was so cool. Yeah, MCOC lore is quite cool. They do generally have a decent story. I think there's actually, like, because of this game, there's like an actual comic book contest of champions, stuff like that. And Guillotine actually has started appearing in some comics. And Guillotine is, you know, MCOC creation. There are some interesting things for sure. You know, they did it well. I think they could have a very good animated run. You know, I think there's very good potential to make animated series. No. Thanks for the raid on Auto Stream yesterday. No worries. You know, anytime. Well, finally done. So that's putting the SL one. Yeah, the SL one, you know, it's still the worst one. It's still the worst one. I think it took me like 5 hours total. Something like that. I think it was 5 or a bit over. And it was 59 revives or 58 revives. But it really, like, for me, when I was doing Star-Lord's thing, it did not feel as much of a challenge. It did not feel as much of a challenge as it felt just kind of like pay your toll type of thing, where you need to stand next to some sort of slot machine and just throw revives at it. I was wondering, what do you think about Battlegrounds? I'm very excited about Battlegrounds. I'm very excited. You know, obviously I do think there are several things that need to be changed. The more I think about it, actually, the reward system and structure really is going to affect how it's received. Because here's the thing. If they, in theory, I think they can even get away with keeping 30 energy cost and having some sort of recharge cost as well, if you can earn units from it by winning, and less units by losing. So for instance, 30 energy, you know, energy refills 30 units, that's 70 energy. So just like as a brief example. So if you win a match in Battlegrounds, if you get 20 units. And if you lose a match in Battlegrounds, you get 10 units. You know what I mean? Or 5 units or something like that. Then you can even keep that energy cost in there. I wouldn't mind that. It'd be just, you can say, even in any case, quite convenient conversion from energy to units, if they do that. And then it would also kind of make sense, because if you keep winning, you can keep playing indefinitely and offset the energy refill cost with the units that you win. And, you know, potentially even some recharge cost with the units that you win. And if you keep losing, you know, you haven't directly spent units. You have wasted your energy, but you still get like a bit of that energy, you know, back or something like that. So if they do it, there are so many things that they can do to make it work. My biggest genuine problem is that they need to make people want to play it. These PvP game modes are like the main things about them is that you want people to get borderline addicted to them and play hours at a time. I don't understand who or why thought that it's like a good idea to limit the amount you can play and stuff like that. But if you're talking about the, you know, systems themselves, I do think that Brian had the best point to make about the scoring system, where if you beat the opponent, you get like 2 multiplier on HP remaining, and if you don't beat the opponent, you get 1 multiplier on HP remaining. I think that is a very, very, very important change, because right now far too much value is put on your finishing health, I think. So I think that's quite important. Fight timer, we'll see whether 2 minutes is enough. You know, that's still kind of down to testing. 2 minutes seems very short, but you know, it might be better. But I'm excited for Battlegrounds. The main thing at the moment about Battlegrounds, also what's very interesting, is how it's going to affect champion value and champion meta, because everybody already has like a whole bunch of champions that they think that they want to rank for Battlegrounds and stuff like that. And right now I'm kind of hoarding all my catalysts to get as much information as I can before I actually do my rank ups. Because, you know, I might rank up, I don't know, Mephisto, might rank up Spider-Gwen, you know, champions like that I otherwise maybe wouldn't. But also champions that I kind of have always liked, and I thought they would be cool, because, you know, they would be good for Battlegrounds. So it's going to be interesting on this effect. But the bottom line is, I do think Kabam needs to do everything to encourage people to play that mode as much, as often as possible. And they will do it by removing entry costs. You know, just like Arena. In the sense, like, if you had to spend units to grind Arena in order to be able to earn something in exchange for your units, you know, people wouldn't grind Arena. But the reason why you do it is because it's something you can do pretty much any time for long periods of time, and there is no entry cost to it, aside from, like, you know, having champions. You earn something for playing the game, and you can play the game for, you can grind Arena for half an hour, you can grind Arena for an hour, you can grind Arena for 2 hours, or you can grind for an entire day if you really want to go, you know, for featured champions. And the same needs to happen with Battlegrounds. Especially because the entire Battlegrounds design is kind of when you can pick up your phone and you have 10 minutes, you can go and do a match quickly, you know? I think that's the most important thing. To get as many people playing. And because of that, I think there needs to be mastery loadouts. Because of that, I think they need to be very careful with what costs they put on, and if they do put on, then again I think there has to be a way to directly earn it back by winning and plus something. And I hope they do like seasons as well. Go educate people in a more convincing way than I hear wax. Yeah, exactly. I think, you know, I agree with True Potential. So Dexter, Black Widow Deadly Origin so fun. I believe you. I believe you. Think about it, how, you know. Again, we're not gonna get into like all of those conspiracy things. There are a lot of things that seem dodgy, that seem funny. There are a lot of things that seem off. And my point was not to ignite, you know, every single conspiracy theory or argument on one or another side. My point was to describe that a lot of people are unhappy on either one of the sides with what people are doing. And, you know, the overall trust and faith in science, for instance, has decreased because people realize that science has been spun a lot based on what kind of politics you need to come out of that science. So on and so forth. For sure is fun, and a lot of people don't know if you go into a heavy straight after her 70 combo, she sent up on it. Yeah, that is a very neat trick. That is a very neat trick. You're 100% right. Actually, you know, had forgotten about it for quite a long time until you reminded me again. But yeah, you can do that. You can do that. Got into new gold win lines. Congratulations. Personally, for me, boost masteries are the biggest problem. Yeah, boosts single-handedly can destroy the game mode as well, I think. I think boosts themselves can destroy the game mode. I don't think by any fetch of the imaginations boost should be allowed to affect. I think masteries, you know, we will get loadouts, and that's fine. And the fact that some people have better mastery setups, some people have worse mastery setups is kind of unavoidable. But masteries is something that you can work towards and you can unlock. The main thing is that you can switch your setups effectively if you want to attract the people that run Liquid Courage Double Edge. And if you don't let them do that, then that group of people will automatically not take the game mode as serious. But if they give mastery loadouts, you know, that's kind of, in my opinion, good enough for me. But boost, I think, is a very, very, very big one that needs to be addressed. Dashing into attack with her combo. Yeah. Look good, but didn't I? Oh, should do. Besides Jacob, there's another piece of news for Battlegrounds that there will be a friendly mode. I'm gonna make a video about it after my stream. There will be a friendly mode. It's in the works as well, and that means that you will be able to play friendly matches against whoever you want, basically. So it means that you can organize tournaments, or you can have playoffs in Alliance and stuff like that, you know. It's quite cool. Quite cool. Which I think is going to be good for the community as well. But yeah, reward system is going to be very important when it comes to Battlegrounds. If the rewards are shit, like in Incursions, you know, it's kind of the entire story of Incursions. You know, Kabam knew exactly what to do to make Incursions relevant again. That 1 month they put those objectives: reach room 20, get 30 6-star 6 stones. You know, all of a sudden everybody was playing Incursions that 1 month. All of a sudden everybody was pushing at least zone 15, probably 20, even dropping units on it. So what was the difference there? Did the game mode get better? No, the game mode was exactly, you know, what it was before. There was just something worth chasing, worth pushing higher rooms for, worth playing, worth planning, worth being excited. And imagine if that would be a permanent thing, that every month you could earn that amount of 6 stones or that amount of tier 5 CC and stuff like that. Incursions would matter. You would consider starting to rank up champions for Incursions. You would, you know, consider to paying more attention to their game mode, maybe practicing, maybe, you know, following it a bit closer, maybe looking at new champions and how well they work in Incursions, stuff like that, you know. Start thinking strategies, because there would be something worthwhile to chase. Current Incursion rewards are realistically dog shit, and there's absolutely nothing you can get elsewhere easier and faster. So Incursions are effectively irrelevant in a game mode that majority of the community has completely abandoned. One freaking solo objective. Change that. That's how important rewards can be to a game mode. And that's how easy, you know, that's how little could be a difference between Battlegrounds being success and a failure. Just don't read about your medical conditions on Google and you're good. I don't even want to try because I have far too many. I'm just silly. Yeah, again. First of all, here's the thing. Doctor, you know, unless it's a very, you know, huge outliner case, by default will be trying to help you. That's their oath, that's what they believe in, that's why they have become doctors. At large, any doctor, your personal doctor, will be trying to do what's best for you as your patient, because they must. That does not mean to say that doctors do not have any side interests or stuff like that, especially in America, where you have very money-driven healthcare system, and doctors do get a lot of potential contributions or privileges by specific drug companies who urge them to prescribe, you know, their specific brand of medicine. And that is not to say that doctor will always try to prescribe the cheapest medicine that would work for you, for instance. It's still gonna, you know, make you feel better. It's still gonna want you to get well. You understand? It just, you know, might not be the, you know, cheapest or whatever the medicine available there in some cases, if that doctor is untrustworthy and if that doctor has been paid off. He's not going to be trying to make you worse. He's still going to be trying to help you. But, you know, as a default, you know, especially when it comes to kind of like one-on-one level, because then every relationship is significantly different. When it comes to a personal level with a human being that you yourself meet, you should have faith in your doctor. You should have faith that your doctor is trying to get you better. You know, it doesn't mean that doctors can't be wrong. It doesn't mean that, you know, doctors don't make mistakes. That's why you have, for instance, two different doctors defending two completely different opinions on COVID restrictions and shit like that. You know, because things are open to their interpretations as well. What would be better for everyone, for instance. But when it comes to medical treatments and stuff like that, you know, ultimately there is a correct answer. Ultimately there is a consensus that they can reach. Just, you know, kind of like math, for instance. You can solve an equation in different ways, but as long as you solve the equation correctly, the answer will be the same. So yeah, don't start thinking, you know, bad about your personal GPs and stuff like that. Can I beat Camp 363 without Ghost or Starkey? There's quite a lot of champions that shot. She-Hulk can do it. Aegon and a couple of revives can do it. Corvus and a couple of revives can do it. Hitmonkey and a couple of revives can do it. Dr. Doom with Mr. Fantastic synergy, I believe, can do it. Who else can defeat that bastard? I think Psylocke can do it, to be honest. It's gonna be a very long fight. Sure, there are plenty more. Now, yeah, that's the point. Friendly matches will cost no energy. That's kind of like the point. Just had that orange marmalade stuff. That's so bitter. Oh, I don't like it either. I never eat it. Yeah, that bitter marmalade, I don't like it at all. I don't understand why people like it. I don't know, British people eat weird shit sometimes. Game is heading in a downward spiral. I do think that for last 15 months, 12 months, 15 months, the game has had a downward trend. And, you know, that's backed up by any means of financial reporting as well. I do think that the Kabam has made some very, very poor decisions. I think they had a lot of quality issues. I do think there were a lot of mistakes. And I do think that for the last 12 to 15 months, the game has been heading downhill. I do think the Battlegrounds has all the potential to push it back up higher than it has ever been. And a few other changes. But even financial reporting, you know, from Kabam. Kabam in 2020 earned less than they did in 2021. Sorry, Kabam in 2021 earned less than they did in 2020, 2019, and 2018. So the game financially, and if I had to guess also, player base wise, flew back half of its lifetime. The game had gone only one way, numerically, by number of people playing, by the money spent on this game, in one direction, upwards. Game opened, you know, people liked it, people started spending on it, people started playing it. Every single year, up until 2020, the game went in upwards direction, backed by numbers. And more money grew more players. You know, not by huge margins and didn't like triple it and shit like that, but, you know, it went up. And 2021 saw a significant drop. Not 1 year drop. You know, so the game has gone like this. So it goes up, 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 and then down quite quick. And it went down 3 years worth. All the progress they made in the last 3 years, they wiped it out. I made a video about, you know, their financial performance and shit like that. The game is not dead. The game is big enough to, you know, survive and sustain. The game can probably still last, you know, another year with a decline of the current pace. But there is absolutely no question that there is a decline. There's absolutely no question that there is a decline. know, financial KT1, YouTube, go. I can drop a link to that video. Financial KT1. The latest financial reports are intriguing. What's the... Oh, yeah. Because, you know, there was a lot of reports about they made this much money in the gifting event. And they did make a lot of money in gifting event, but it was nowhere near enough to salvage the financial year. FYI. There is a... If you're interested in the subject about their financial performance, then here's the video that I made, going through some charts and the earnings, comparing them to previous years and stuff like that. So you can check out on it. The Incursion Store should... Yeah, Incursion Store has to be updated. Incursions and Glory Store, both of them need updates ASAP. Both of them need updates ASAP. That's why, you know, I don't play much of Incursions in the first place, largely because the rewards are shit. And when I do, I'm not even interested in spending those artifacts because I'm just kind of hoping, you know, that they update the store before I spend them, because, you know, the artifact value is absolutely pathetic. Doctors in US get kickbacks for trying specific drugs tests and trials. Yes, that is, you know, troublesome. But really would make me question my doctor. But ultimately, as I said, I would still trust that my doctor doesn't want to kill me and still trust that my doctor wants to help me. I just wouldn't be sure if he prescribes me the best, most effective and cheapest medicine out there, or treatment, you know? Trying to be corporal sign. Take care everyone. Alright, see you later, Jacob. Hope you pop by soon. Marmite's disgusting. I don't think I have ever even tried it, because I have heard that, you know, people either love it or hate it, and I consider Marmite as my Schrodinger's food. Marmite is simultaneously either delightful or disgusting until I actually try it. I understand that, yeah? So, Marmite, I have purposely, intriguingly, intentionally left as my Schrodinger's food. And I know fully well that at some point in my life, I will be in a situation where I try out Marmite. Until that happens, Marmite's either delicious or disgusting, simultaneously. See how this works? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's really bad. I didn't know they made less. They fucked up the relics. I have a feeling that game... Yeah, I also have a feeling if they fuck up relics, the game can go under quite quickly. 600 governors acting sector 4. I don't know. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. The incursions rewards are worth it for very new accounts. Let me correct that. Like, if I made a new account today, I would play incursions for first couple of months. They are worth it for new players. They're not worth for anyone who has played this game for any meaningful amount of time. Chapter 2 left on KBQ is almost. Well, nice. Well, I hope you pull something awesome. Hope you pull something awesome. I hope you get all you deserve. Okay, why do I have so many bloody 3-star champions? 35-star champions. It's too many. It's too many. There's still so many to go through. I'm gonna have to start refreshing as well at some point today. I'm gonna have to start refreshing at some point. It'll be annoying. I really don't want to use units, but I will, because I have to. I don't want to, but I will. From your mouth to God's ear. Let it be so. Let thy will be done. I like how I started the song and gave up midway. Yeah, I do that. First spots on the list is Doom. Somebody doesn't have a Doom. Ooh. I would not know how to live with yourself. What do you think will happen if Battlegrounds flops? Honestly, I kind of expect initial release of Battlegrounds to be somewhat underwhelming. Okay, so this is what I see happening. First month, Battlegrounds are going to be around. I do expect everybody to play it, regardless whether it's going to be good or bad. Then the Battlegrounds is going to go away for a couple of months because they will, you know, do the final edits on it. Then I expect Battlegrounds to become underwhelming fairly quickly. I do, however, expect that Battlegrounds will be very tended and cared for game mode, kind of like KVQ, especially when they initially released KVQ. They started, you know, toning the nodes and adjusting, you know, everything every month and stuff like that. So I do think that they will have to play and adjust the Battlegrounds to get them, like, really popular. But I do believe that they can get there. I don't think Battlegrounds are going to flop. I think Battlegrounds are going to be a success. I think Battlegrounds has every single component to be a success if managed and implemented and cared for well. Battlegrounds, in my head, is a surefire hit unless you purposely make it shit. So if Battlegrounds flop, I expect Kabam to fix them. But if they don't, then, you know, I expect that to be there about it. I do not think that Battlegrounds flopping would be as damaging as Relics being released badly, though. I think Relics is the real yes or no moment for MCOC. And all of this is made harder for them because of the balancing system, I think. Because I think no matter what they do, even if Battlegrounds are a massive success and stuff like that, I do think that they will, unfortunately, this year experience, at least at the bare minimum, significant short-term financial losses because of the balancing system. With time, if Kabam proves themselves to be competent with balancing, you know, I think that it's not going to affect too much. I think it could even work out better for them. But let's face it, I don't think they are capable of being competent in that aspect. I don't think, you know, they're just good enough. So we'll see. A lot of very interesting times in front of us. Lift incursions up before moving on to PvP. Yeah, true. They could have. Could have. Yeah, 7.4 coming is definitely kind of like a bit of a breather, which is good. Very good. Oh yeah, I don't think any single MCOC veteran expects there not to be a shit ton of bugs in Battlegrounds initially. You know, it's just one of those things. They might be doing something that's gonna work out great, but let's face it, it's still Kabam that's doing it, so how better chance on winning a lottery than they have releasing something that's not bugged. You know, it's just reality of life. Which is kind of sad state of affairs if you think about it. And you're a company from whom nobody expects reasonable quality. Kind of imagine you're, I don't know, making the world's most and best looking sneakers, but everybody knows that if you wear them 10 times, they, you know, disintegrate. But everybody still kind of wants to have them because they look so awesome. That's MCOC. If you get, I don't know, the world's coolest laptop that breaks down every month. Just because it looks great. Stuff like that. But the quality is utter garbage. That's MCOC. It's like ambitious, visually stunning. And you know, it's quite unique. There's no real good alternative. And obviously we all like it, but God help me if I had ever interacted with a single company who makes more fuck-ups than they do. I honestly can't recall that. They are special. By special, obviously we mean special. Like special. Like Adam Sandler and Billy Madison special. Okay. Look at that bad timing. Like my heal block expired just a second before the heal kicked in, and you know, he started healing and I couldn't hit him anymore just as I was like hitting him like heavy. That felt so bad. It felt like he squeezed through, you know, a needle, the eye of a needle. That felt really annoying. It's kind of like, oh, I have Red Skull, I can finally use the utility Red Skull has. Let's go heal blocking abilities. Does Odin synergy make Heimdall decent? No. It helps him, but no. Heimdall needs more than that. Like, in an average fight, gen numbers are just not good enough. As in, like, it makes him decent-ish, but realistically, there's still not a single scenario where I would look at Heimdall as and, you know, think, you know, that's the option for the attack. Heimdall actually has, you know, potential with his True Strike and stuff, you know, because the True Strike stays for the entire fight, and that's like super helpful. He's one of the best True Strike champions in the game in a sense that you can access it super easy, especially starting fight 2, because in fight 2 you start with, you know, power if your Heimdall's awakened. So basically you can have permanent True Strike the entire fight from the very first hit of the fight, and that's unique. You know, there aren't many champions who can have that. And knows access to buffs and divas and whatever else. But he needs a bit of love. He needs something more in his kit, and he needs definitely better numbers. But strictly speaking about True Strike champions, he has one of the best True Strikes in game. Oh, come on, really? Really, you're gonna do that to me? Really? And now you're gonna... Oh, hey, what's up, Mr. Victor? How are you doing? How are you doing? Hope you guys are having a great week. Yeah, well, it's not too bad. I need to still put in quite a significant amount of work for this Captain Sam grind. I'm quite a bit behind. So I'm gonna need to start refreshing at some point soon. But, you know. Hope he's worth it. Hope he's worth it. Now let's just beat up that guy. How are you doing? how are you doing? Let's slap him up. Come on, Nova, baby. Let's go. Easy win. Man, Nova was such a disappointment as well. And then even bigger disappointment than Nova was his buff. So the dude got like double shafted by Kebab. He's like quite good looking character, quite popular. He's one of those champions that I like, you know, outside of this game. But because of this game, I think of him as an, you know, noodle. Now, there are several champions like that who, you know, I used to like a lot. And this game has kind of ruined my attachment to those champions. Like Jubilee. For 2 years, I really wanted Jubilee to come to this game. Now that she has, kind of wish she didn't, because I used to like her before she was in the game. I used to like her more before she was in the game. Gamora got triple shafted. Aye, that's true. That's true. Gamora got a lot of the shafts. Well, thanks for asking. Thinking to explore Act 6 in the future? Explore all else? Well, then go for it. It's an interesting challenge. It's an interesting challenge. Act 6 will show you who you truly are. Test of character, that. That's a test of character, that. Look at that, I'm actually coming to an end. Not too bad. Not too bad, not that many left here. Can live with that. Act 6 is way better now. Yeah, besides they did nerf it first. First of all, they did nerf it. So some fights are, some of the biggest problem fights are definitely gone. And the second thing is, there are more champions that deal with the problems that were very hard, close to impossible to deal with before, if you know what I mean. Because when Act 6 initially got released, a lot of the fights hardly had any counters. Like there were at least kind of like 5-6 fights where if you're not very good at quaking, you're gonna revive. Guaranteed, pretty much. And stuff like that. But now, over time, with new champions, you know, there are more and more champions, and with the buffs and stuff, there are more champions that can kind of sneak in and do those fights. Yeah, exactly. And an average roster of people doing Act 6 right now is much bigger than it was back in the day. Like, you know, people who have, like... Well... Like, when I was doing Act 6, you know, I don't know, 6.2, 6.3, like, what? We had, like, a couple of rank 3s? For instance, stuff like that. Now people who do that content have plenty of rank 3s. So yeah, obviously it seems easier too. Because people who have a couple of rank 3s now, you know, are not exploring Act 6. They're just kind of rushing through completion and trying to get the Grandmaster down for the Thronebreaker title. So yeah, the average roster who tries to explore Act 6 is significantly better now. The same with Variant 1, you know. Right now, any decent roster can go in Variant 1 and explore it. When Variant 1 came out, we had like 2-3 rank 5 5-star champions at best. We had like 3 rank 5 5-stars, or 2 of them. And you know, the rank 4 5-stars, a bunch of them. And we still used a lot of 4-stars and rank 3 5-stars where it was needed. And now if you would go in Variant 1, you know, you use your rank 2, rank 3 6-stars, rank 5 5-stars only, really isn't that bad. Really isn't that bad. I mean, it's obviously still finicky and tricky and you need to know what you're doing and stuff like that, but it can't really compare to how difficult that content was when it first came out. What's up, Fluffy? How are you doing? Okay, passa Fluffy. Fluffy Big Monster always somehow kind of tiny bit reminds me of the comedian Fluffy. Forget his name always, but then I remember it and then I think, how could I forget it? Iglesias. You got lucky with my 5-star roster and complete Act 6, but had to complete 7.3 Explore. House to get the Romance Toad. Nice. Well, congratulations on becoming Thronebreaker then. And congratulations are in order. Congratulations. Look at that, I'm closing in on that 80 million. Gabriel Iglesias, yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the Fluffy. It's quite funny. Quite funny. Saw that he had some comedy TV series. I watched a couple of episodes and then I realized that it's way too woke. And you know, I still thought it's funny, I just couldn't stomach the series. No, that's actually not correct. I could stomach the series for a while until there was that Latino Latinx episode and stuff like that. At which point I just was unable to enjoy the comedy. But I still watch his, like, you know, stand-ups and bits and stuff like that. Very funny. Some very, very good jokes. Oh. Which are you talking about? I got disconnected. I think it's called Mr. Iglesias or something like that, where he's a teacher in a high school. Kind of like a rough high school-ish. And yeah, I think it's called Mr. Iglesias. So, yeah, and there the Gabriel Iglesias is, you know, basically in the main role as a leading teaching man. Do. Wanna slap him in? We look nothing alike. I like his skits, but he does tend to share his views sometimes. Yeah, well, that's the thing again. I think it kind of unfortunately comes with the ground for most part. For instance, like, I can enjoy Rock in the movies, right? But I'd never in a million years want to follow him on Twitter. I can respect him as a human being as to, like, you know, his work ethic and some other aspects of him, but I by no means like him as a person. And I think it's quite important to separate it as well, you know? So the downfall yesterday, now I don't want to reply. Boeing jet. What happened there, Mr. Victor? What happened there? What was the downfall? Oh, you mean movie The Downfall? Oh! Right, now I gotcha. I think I saw it as one of the recommended somewhere. I haven't seen it. I mean, I just saw it as a title or something like that, but I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. So you're telling me to watch it and then book tickets on a Boeing jet to fly home? Is that right? Is that what you're telling me to do? So watch Downfall, book Ryanair tickets for next week. Downfall is about 2 plane crashes from Boeing due to negligence. Yeah, I figured that that's the one. Not the Hitler downfall. Hey, it could have been Conor McGregor downfall. That's quite a good movie too. Downfall of Conor McGregor. You never know. There have been a lot of downfalls in the history. You know what I mean? Stupid Cersei, I'll show you who's the boss. Come on, Captain, no. Come on, Doctor Strange. Do something. Aha! Really? You think you can get away with this? Eat it! I think... MCOC Downfall. Oh, I'm sure there's gonna be that movie too. Or that video. Downfall of MCOC. Right. I think... Captain Strange, exactly. I think this stream has reached its natural conclusion, and I have exhausted my ability to remain entertaining for in this, continued amount of time. Right now, only thing I am able to think about is how badly I have been willing to go to the big boy's room for the last 45 minutes. And it will also be a convenient place to finish the stream because it's 10:30. Very appropriate time. So here we go. You guys have been absolutely awesome. I love you all, like always. I would say huge thank you to Kaisei for being the comrade daddy of the stream. All of you, huge thank you for keeping me company. Hopefully I have managed to entertain you or alleviate your boredom. And I will be back later. I think I'll be back about 4 p.m. UK time, which is, earlier than I normally stream in evenings. Just so I can, stay on top of my 6-star grind. And yeah, that's it for now. And I'm going to catch you guys next time. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next month